No one on the research vessel was prepared for what they were about to see. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like, and share this video. After decades of scouring the ocean floor, chasing rumors and faded coordinates, a group of marine archaeologists finally stumbled upon a site so haunting, so pristine, it felt like time itself had taken a breath and stopped. Resting silently in the depths, the long-lost cruise ship sat upright, ghostly white, untouched by the modern world. It was the SS Atlantis, a ship that had vanished nearly a century ago, and what lay inside would rewrite history. Dr. Sarah Thompson stood over a map spread across the central table of the vessel. "Today," she declared, "we dive into history." Her team, divers, engineers, historians, knew the weight of her words. The rumors surrounding the SS Atlantis had swirled for decades, but no one truly expected to find it, let alone in such immaculate condition. As they suited up for the descent, nerves crackled in the air. Cameras were ready, tethers secure, oxygen checked. It was time. As the divers sank below the surface, the murky blue began to clear. And there it was. The massive hull emerged from the shadows, eerie and majestic, like a ghost frozen in place. Algae clung to its sides. Barnacles formed crusty mosaics over faded steel. But the ship itself was intact. A century of silence echoed around it. They hovered before the faded nameplate and gently wiped it clean. SS Atlantis. Inside, the atmosphere was even more surreal. The divers passed through rusting corridors lit only by their flashlights. A grand chandelier loomed above, now draped in seaweed instead of crystals. The walls whispered stories of glamour and tragedy. Kelly, one of the divers, barely spoke above a whisper. It's like time just stopped. Every room was a perfectly preserved snapshot. In the dining hall, tables remained set, plates fossilized with remnants of a meal that was never finished. The silverware still neatly aligned, as if awaiting guests that never returned. "They vanished mid-dinner," Mike muttered. "No signs of panic, no damage, nothing." The mystery only deepened with every step. Sarah's voice crackled through the comms. "Let's split into two teams. Keep the lines open. We need to document everything." They nodded and moved off, one group heading toward the bridge, the other toward the passenger quarters. In the bridge, Mike's team discovered rusted consoles, levers still in position. Old logbooks, fragile and waterlogged, were tucked into cabinets, but it was a strong box wedged beneath the captain's desk that caught their attention. Locked, heavy, and sealed for decades, it would need to be retrieved and opened back on the surface. Meanwhile, Sarah and Kelly reached the passenger cabins. If the dining hall was eerie, this was chilling. Luggage still unpacked, clothes hung on closet doors. A teddy bear sat at the edge of a child's bed. "They never saw it coming," Sarah whispered. The rooms told a story, one of sudden abandonment, frozen grief. Then came a grisly find, skeletal remains in the captain's quarters. Mike carefully documented every angle. "We owe it to them," he said. A diver nearby uncovered a half-burned leather journal, pages warped by seawater but still legible. "It's a personal diary," she noted. "It may tell us what really happened." Once back on the research ship, the strongbox was pried open. Inside, a manifest, original ship logs, and names that made everyone pause. High-profile passengers, political figures from a century ago. "What were they doing on a civilian cruise ship?" Mike asked, eyebrows raised. Sarah flipped through the logbook. "There's something else." The entries stopped suddenly. No explanation. Then a clue, the term high-priority cargo. Whatever the SS Atlantis was carrying, it wasn't just travelers and champagne. Dive after dive uncovered more secrets. A concealed door, hidden compartments, old crates, and then a discovery that shook the team, a sealed container bearing military markings. Sarah's voice trembled. This was an arms shipment. Weapons, blueprints, and sealed documents with military insignias revealed a hidden mission. The SS Atlantis had been more than a ship. It had been a covert vessel for transporting classified intelligence. At the very bottom of the ship, behind a reinforced vault door, the final revelation waited. The team worked in silence, bolts turning one by one. When the door finally swung open, their lights reflected off gold bars, gemstones, and centuries-old artifacts. This is a treasure trove," Kelly whispered. But more than wealth, they had uncovered history. Stolen treasures meant to fund secret wartime operations, intelligence documents that could rewrite the past. Every item they touched held the weight of a forgotten world. Sarah looked around, her face pale but calm. "This changes everything." As word of the discovery spread, the world responded with a mix of awe and disbelief. News outlets across continents broadcasted live updates. Historians, archaeologists, and intelligence experts alike gathered to analyze the incredible artifacts. The SS Atlantis was no longer just a ghost ship. It had become a historical turning point. Back on the research vessel, the team knew they had to proceed with utmost care. The vault's contents were too delicate and too powerful to be mishandled. They cataloged each item meticulously, storing them in protective containers. Sarah insisted that everything be logged with photographic and video evidence. "No room for error," she reminded the crew. "We're not just exploring a ship, we're documenting a secret the world was never meant to see." Among the documents was a map that appeared to mark multiple drop points across the globe. Cryptic notes in the margins suggested covert exchanges and wartime dealings. This was a floating black site, Mike theorized. It operated under the guise of luxury, while executing missions behind closed doors. But the most shocking detail came when they decoded a set of ciphered entries in the captain's log. The notes referred to a planned rendezvous with another vessel, one that had also disappeared under mysterious circumstances. "It wasn't an accident," Sarah said, piecing it together. The SS Atlantis was silenced. As the implications sank in, tension aboard the vessel rose. Some worried they'd stumbled into classified waters, secrets some powers might not want revealed. Naval intelligence reached out, offering support and discreetly asking for access, but Sarah and her team stood firm. "This belongs to the world," she said in a press briefing. "Not a government, not a museum. Everyone deserves to know what happened." Pressure mounted, but so did support. Scholars, activists, and educators rallied behind the team, championing their efforts to preserve and share the truth. Plans were made to exhibit the artifacts in a global traveling display, beginning with a grand unveiling at the United Nations. Meanwhile, dives continued. On one expedition, the team uncovered a hidden compartment within the ship's hull. Inside, a time capsule. Its contents included photographs of passengers, heartfelt letters, and even a reel of film footage showing life aboard the SS Atlantis in its prime. The film, once restored, showed dancing, laughter, and luxury, all shadowed by an undercurrent of secrecy. The contrast was sobering. "They had no idea," Kelly said while reviewing the footage, "no idea what was coming." Then came a final twist. In one sealed envelope addressed to an unnamed official was a confession. The ship's captain had written of his regret, of how he was forced to cooperate with authorities to transport hidden cargo he knew would put lives at risk. He had considered sounding the alarm, but feared retribution. "If you're reading this," the letter said, "then the world has found the truth I never had the courage to reveal." Sarah held the letter in her gloved hands. "This is the missing piece," she whispered, "the human cost." In the weeks that followed, the team worked around the clock, collaborating with archivists, historians, and preservationists. The ship's remains were secured. Plans were drawn to establish a permanent underwater research site around the wreck, a living museum beneath the sea.